stay out of ERs. There's lots of value to having a healthy community. And the last thing is pension reform, and it will certainly be an ongoing thing for all of us, particularly in municipalities where we all have employees. We have pension programs, public pension programs, and we have challenges with that. Ventura County is one of 20 counties that were 37 Act counties. We were formed by state law and have our own employee retirement funds, Retirement Act of 1937. So we are not CalPERS. We're not in the state CalPERS program. Last month, let me say this, I know there's been a lot in the press on it. There was an initiative proposed to go on the ballot by the Taxpayer Association that would change the pension program from a defined benefit program to a defined contribution program. And we held lots of public hearings on that. We had an actuary come in and give us the actuarial impact of converting to that different pension plan. And at the end of the day, we legally challenged that initiative because we felt it had two weaknesses. One was that the board, by constitutional language, had full authority over our budget, and second was that we were formed by a 37 Act pension program, and only the legislature could change that program from what was, again, a benefit program to a contribution program. So we challenged that. We did so, again, with lots of public meetings and discussions, and feeling that the most frustrating thing for voters, I think, is to go and vote on something and then have it overturned by the law. By law. And that's frustrating because you don't always, as a voter or a public member, get all the background, what happened in court, why was that changed? And you'll get some of it, but there's always a lot more fine details that you may not get, and it's frustrating to, and there have been significant ones over the years that have been overturned. Prop 187, big example. So anyway, at the end of the day, the judge ruled in our favor and said the positions that I just noted, the legal standings I just noted were correct, and that initiative should not go on the ballot. So it is not. Now, I'll say to you, the board started taking action on pension reform years ago. We're probably one of the few counties in the 70s that set up a pension plan that had a tier 1 and then moved to a tier 2 in the late 70s. And that, of course, had different compensations for the employees who came in under those programs. Then there was a request by law enforcement to have a 3 at 50 benefit back in the, I should know this since it was a significant campaign issue. And the board fought that back and said, no, we're not going to grant that benefit to law enforcement. We value law enforcement, but it was a benefit we couldn't afford. Other counties who have done so are facing significant pension obligation bonds now, have had to finance their way out of that obligation, and some counties like San Diego gave it to all employees, not just law enforcement. Anyway, we did not. We fought that battle, and we won that battle, and that has served us well in, again, what our pension obligation responsibilities are. So today, our liabilities, our pension liability fund is the highest funded in the Tri-County region. We're at a 79% funded liability pension fund. Top 3 funded liabilities among the 37 Act counties. We have top 3 strong, one of the top 3 strongest in our funding. And preliminary results indicated last fiscal year that the pension fund earned the highest returns over the past 20 years. We moved when the pension obligation, when PEPR was passed by the governor, which is the statewide pension reform measure, we moved quickly, went to our bargaining table and said, you're going to have to pick up a share of your pension. Why don't we start the conversation now? And we were, within a year, we were able to get 3% pickup by county employees. They stepped up to the plate and they said, we understand this will be a responsibility by 2017, 2018. So, but it was more than that. And there's always a give and take, but they stepped up to do that. So that helped considerably. So all of that, there were also things that were done by the state law. It's that employee pickup, no spiking. So there's no where you hear, you'll hear that an employee moves into a higher paid position to get that last year's spiked pension salary. And last 3 years that we calculated. And Pepper also put a cap on pensions. So in the future, now you may hear yet, because there are still county employees who are going to be retiring, who've been with us for a long time at a high salary, and they'll be retiring with high pensions. But over time, you won't hear any more of that, because with the state Pepper law, it puts a cap on those pensions. So that the cap is, I think, for law enforcement, it's 134,000, and regular employees no more than 110. You know, it does put caps on that. So we're in a good position. We've navigated those challenges, and the fiscal year looks good. And as I said, we will move ahead. We got a season here that really says to us, let's all eat pumpkin pie, watch football, and drink apple cider rum in it. Celebrate a new beginning, and we really have to take time, I think, always in our lives to really look at our accomplishments and our satisfaction with life, and how we feel about our community and our neighbors, and appreciate. We live in paradise. Appreciate where we live and what a great place it is. 5 things that are on my list of celebration, and I know you'll share them too. The Purple Heart Trail is the first. Last year when I came here and I talked about the Purple Heart Trail, that we were working with kind of at Jackson and the state to get designation along the 101 for a Purple Heart Trail, and we needed to raise some funds to get that accomplished. Well, we did raise those funds. The signs are being manufactured any day now. Any day now. CalPens will have them ready to have them installed. There will be one as you come into the county from the headed south, and certainly one as you enter the county headed north. And it will honor and show respect for those folks who served our country. And we have lots of Purple Heart recipients in this county because we have this wonderful base, and we have folks who they've served their country and they've served at this base, and they decided to stay in our community. So we thought it was important to do, valuable to recognize that. So I look forward to really having real signs up. Our Ventura County Library system is one of the best, I think, and I have to stop and acknowledge Beverly, who's just been such a strong advocate for the library here in Fort Wayne. Very strong. And Murray Rosenblum, you all know Murray, and he continues to be a strong supporter. The library is celebrating its 25th birthday this month. And the Fort Wayne Chamber and the library is a gem in our system, I'll say that, and I'm grateful for all of the work of the advocates and library friends. Our adult literacy program countywide turns 30 this year. It's a life-changing program for many adults. Approximately 250 residents are served each year. 1 in 4 adults in California are reading below the 5th grade level. They're unable to read a bedtime story to their children or seek out opportunities for job promotion. Long waiting list for adults because we do not have enough volunteer tutors. You have time, you have a love of reading, help us, become a volunteer tutor. It really is painless, and you give so much back in helping these adults to learn to elevate their level of reading. It's never too early or too late to read and to help. If you're interested in volunteering with the adult literacy program, or would like to build up your literacy skills, contact our Ventura County Library. We hold tutoring sessions at the Port Hueneme Library 2 nights a week. And it's really a valuable program. Thank you, Arlene. You're welcome. A tutor, thank you. The Empower program, and there amongst all the stuff on your tables, I did bring 2 of my own things. The Empower program on the Central Coast. It's a tri-county Ventura, Santa Barbara, San Luis Obispo program, helps homeowners overcome obstacles to make energy-saving improvements to your home. They actually have, free of charge, because I've used it, a team of folks who are experts. They come into your home, they walk around, they go up in the attic, they look at how your home is set up and where you're losing energy, and they give you recommendations on how you can improve and secure your home so you're using the best use of energy. One of the simple things we had to do, which hadn't been done in years, was the attic, putting in different insulation and closing off some holes and vents that occurred, and it was a wonderful program. It is a program that is made available to all residents. It is a reliable, trustworthy program funded in part by California ratepayers. You pay public goods charges in every one of your utility bills. This is a way of bringing that money back to Ventura County using these programs, this Empower program. It's designed to make upgrades easier and affordable, has incentives, financing, qualified contractors, and energy experts. Partners with Energy Upgrade California, California Solar Initiative programs. Financing is by local credit unions like the Ventura County Credit Union, which has a home right here in Port Hueneme. And unsecured loans with low rates, flexible terms, up to 15 years to achieve manageable monthly costs. Excellent program if you're ever thinking about solar, or you really just want to have an energy analysis done in your home. Check into this program. It really is a good program. Community development. The County of Ventura is currently seeking community input for the development of a new 5-year community development consolidated plan. Again, another brochure on your table. And it's the first time this has been a concentrated countywide effort to do this, establish a countywide vision of unmet community development needs, such as focuses on basic needs like food, shelter, and employment. The outreach being done here is to identify the commonality among neighborhoods and community development priorities. Most every community has a community development person that looks at the state or federal funds that come through to really help folks who need help. There's a workshop tonight in the city of Ventura, Foster, and this is available to you. We've received a number of survey feedback from Port Hueneme residents, and the more input, the better on what the needs are in the community. So let your folks and your neighbors know, and make sure that they're aware of these workshops and see how we can help to improve our consolidated plan and fair housing opportunities. Last thing I'll talk about is the Ormond Beach Development Project, a true gem sitting there. I think most of you are very aware of Ormond Beach. And Ormond Beach is going to be the big eco-agritourism attraction in the county of Ventura, along, I think, in the state of California, with what is now a vision to have the Ormond Beach wetlands restored, and to have with that a sustainable programs and investment in the Ormond Beach corridor that will bring tourism and will reinvest in this area and have sustainable funding for the restoration of Ormond Beach. Working with the Ormond Beach Task Force and the State Coastal Conservancy, the Ormond Beach wetlands combined with the Magoo Lagoon wetlands will be the largest coastal wetland in Southern California and expected to become a national wildlife refuge. The Coastal Conservancy is assisting the preparation of a consensus master plan for 236 acres of private land north of the Ormond Beach wetland footprint, but in the historical footprint, actually. And the proposal has really ratcheted up in that it's now bringing in a great interest from UC, University of California, to invest in a research and on-site campus on the edge of the Ormond Beach wetlands that will provide research and economic opportunity for continued research on agriculture, on wetlands, on the habitat. And with the university having a footprint there will be other amenities. And this is all out in the community, asking for community input. Workshops are taking place. And it is to look at what potential other opportunities on this site to provide both office space to facilitate green technology, agriculture, ecology, and sustainable business incubators on this footprint. Very exciting to have the UC interested in this site. So the economic development strategy is being worked with the Economic Development Collaborative of Ventura County, leaders of the City of Oxnard, the California Director of the Department of Education, and the Director of the UC Hanson Trust, Christopher Smith. Significant local interest by many others, and I encourage you and certainly the Chamber and the city to have a presence at these meetings, these workshops. It's going to take money to, have this center, this focal point, this attraction, And that money's gonna have to come from a variety of partnerships. So it's, it'll be a gem. It already is, but it will be a long-standing gem for all of us in this region. So it is a project that truly has been the last thing, I said the last thing, but the last thing, I think, is the Channel Islands Harbor Sand Replenishment Project. I'm going to talk about that because it has all been about sweat, tears, and sea. You're keenly aware that this is, you are keenly aware of the city of Fort Whitney and the residents. The damage that's been done because of what has been a Army Corps of Engineers project historically for decades, and the reduced level of sand dredging that's taken place over the couple cycles that finally has had a very negative impact on the beach here in Fort Whitney. But I'll say there's been an incredible effort and testament to all those who've worked on this to really bring to fruition, and I'm going to give Congresswoman Julia Brownlee a strong kudos and appreciation for what was a lot of behind the scenes work and I mean direct communication with the President, working with the Army Corps to really bring in what we need to do to dredge the sand and get the amount of sand necessary to restore this beach, protect our infrastructure, and get this beach back where it needs to be healthy. The project will dredge now over 2 million cubic yards of sand, the largest dredging project in the history of the Channel Islands Harbor. It is on track to start October 1st. You should go down, I'm sure you all will go down to see it, because it's, again, one of those things where we put this under the ground, right, Bob? You explain it, they suck all the sand up over there in that sandbar on the Channel Island side and bring it over here. $14 million project. And less than 10% of the total dredge amount will be going to Silver Strand. It's something, again, that's been historically done, and the reason for that is that we have infrastructure, including the dredge pipeline, to ensure the sustainability and opportunity of continued dredging in future years. We have watershed protection infrastructure, and so there will be 10% is the high end. And speaking with the director just the other day, the Army Corps hasn't yet come out. It may be 8%, it may be less than that, but there will be. We all understand the importance of putting as much, every grain of sand we can into this beach, and there's a commitment to do that. So I'm excited about it. It will be starting on time. So, American poet William Cullen Bryant said, "Autumn, the year's last and loveliest smile." Born in Michigan, that's my favorite time of year. The leaves are incredible, the trees and the colors. So it's been a great year. Always happy to come and talk with you. I'll open up questions now. Beverly.
I want to go back to your Ormond Beach because I walk that beach constantly and I love it. We still have that helicopter.
Yes, we do.
What's going to happen with that?
Well, the EPA, as you know, has been doing the study on it, and they have to be very thorough, and that should be, I think, end of the year. You know. Anyway, the study is to look at the slag heap and to really say, okay, what damage has it done? What contents does it have? What opportunities do we have for removal of slag heap? Because I have said, and probably everybody in this room, not only do we want the Helico site itself down, that old ugly, what's left of that structure, that's slowly deteriorating, but we want the slag heap removed. And Ormond Beach feels the same way, and all of the leaders who are working on the restoration of the wetlands say, yes, we have to get that out of there. Interesting is, as resources and time has changed, what was considered waste and risk in the materials in that slag heap, now interest of whether there's a mining opportunity with product to get it removed. Now, I don't have any hires yet, or any, because
magnesium is
yeah,
a big thing.
but it's like anything else. What we used to throw in the away in the landfills now become product in many cases. So that would be the ideal, to find some private sector industry person who'd love to just take all that out of there because there is value in it and help us get that thing done. So 2 tracks. The EPA study needs to get done. You know, it's already designated a Superfund site, so there's no question of that. There hasn't been any money in Congress, and the Do Nothing Congress